Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Badgers Burrow. In today's video, we're going to be going over the big trade that happened last week in the NFL, as well as kind of my thoughts on the rest of the quarterback market for this offseason. I know there weren't any games this week, but hopefully this weekly recap will still be able to keep you guys involved with, how the NFL is going. If you guys do enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. It's the best way to let me know that you like the content. Also, comment down below your thoughts on the big trade and where you think these quarterbacks will end up. Hope you guys enjoy. We're back, guys. No games does not mean no weekly recap. So we're not going to be covering the games. We're just going to be covering, kind of the news that's happened in the NFL the last week. It is officially Super Bowl week. We've been waiting all year for it. We got the Bucks and we got the Chiefs. Brady versus Mahomes Part 5. But that's not what we're talking about. You guys got to wait a week for that. Today we're going to be talking about, all the trade or the big trade that went down this week, as well as gauging, the rest of the quarterback market. So early in the week, the Texans become the final team to hire their head coach. There were 6 or 7 vacancies this year, and the Texans were the last to fill it. And they filled it with Ravens assistant David Culley, who we did not think was going to be the first African-American coach hired this year. We all thought it was going to be the play caller from the Chiefs, but it was not Bieniemy. It was David Culley, and unfortunately for the Texans, this did not go over well, especially for their star quarterback. As about a day removed from this news, another story broke that Deshaun Watson has officially requested a trade. And I don't really blame him. The organization has become an absolute dumpster fire in the past couple of years. Mostly Bill O'Brien's doing, especially with the trading of DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of their assets. But, apparently this news broke, or the official trade was requested a few weeks ago, but it just came out last week. I think this is probably what Deshaun needs to do. And he's obviously the premier quarterback out there on the market. He's very young. He's extremely talented, just led the league in yards. And he's still got 5 years left on his contract, which is a big one. You don't have to pay him for a while, or you don't have to pay him again for a while. Obviously you got your yearly salary, but, the Texans don't seem keen on trading him, though. And, I can't really blame him. He is the guy that you thought was going to fix Houston. Obviously, Bill O'Brien kind of ruined that, but, Deshaun is a very good quarterback. And, I was not too high on him coming out of college. I didn't think he was going to pan out, but I'm eating my words. He just led the league in passing yards with an absolute train wreck of an offense. And knowing that they have no future, Deshaun wants out of Houston. And yes, Houston, you do have a problem. But new GM Nick Caserio is staying firm on his stance that I believe I saw somewhere that he wants 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 defensive starters, which that is a price I'd be willing to pay in a heartbeat for Deshaun Watson. I'd probably give up 4 first-round picks and change for Deshaun Watson because he's that much of a generational talent. And not to mention, if you get Deshaun Watson, he's probably going to be going to a team that can contend. If I'm a contending team, I'll throw 4 first-round picks away for Deshaun Watson because those will be low to mid-20s picks, so not that great anyways. And Deshaun Watson instantly makes you a contender. So that's a no-brainer for me. 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 starters. The deal was done yesterday. I'm ready to go. As far as Deshaun goes, there's a few spots that are, circling around kind of the nucleus of this talk. Those are the Dolphins and the Jets. Those are the 2 big ones because, they obviously have a lot of draft capital. The Dolphins actually have the Texans pick this year, which turned out to be number 3 in the draft. So thank you, Laramie Tunsil, for that. And the Jets obviously have a ton of capital because, they are crap, like I kind of just said. And, the big ticket is that these teams both have young quarterbacks. You got Tua Tagovailoa and Sam Darnold, 2 very young quarterbacks that, the Texans can take a flyer on and, use one of the future picks if the guy doesn't work out. So those are obviously the two main, landing spots for Watson. I believe he said he prefers the Jets, but it's all speculation at this point. I don't know if Nick Caseria would trade him to one of those teams, given his long tenure in New England. But as a Pats fan, I'm kind of holding out that he'll send him back over. Obviously the Patriots have a lot of defensive starters. They might not have the capital the Dolphins do, but there's a certain defensive player of the year who wanted out earlier in the year. But that's all just biased speculation. But Deshaun is not traded yet. So we're going to move on to LA. I'm repping the other LA team because the Rams made a splash move acquiring Matthew Stafford from the Lions. And, you look at this trade at face value. It's two former number one overall picks being swapped, and there are a plethora of picks. The Lions are giving up Stafford for Goff, 2 firsts, and I believe a second. And, you look at it, you're like, wow, the Rams are giving up so much for Stafford, who, he's obviously been in Detroit his entire career, so it's hard to gauge how good of a quarterback he really is because that general management is so poor. But, I think the real reason they had to give up those picks was to unload Goff's contract because it is substantial. Goff has a huge contract, and that's not really something you want to be holding on to if you're the Rams and you're in win now mode. They've obviously traded all their picks until 2023, so they are going for it. And Matthew Stafford is probably that guy that can really take them to the next level. They've already got an elite defense. They've already got an elite running game. They've already got an elite offensive line. Now they just need an elite quarterback, and Matthew Stafford could be that. I think that when you pair him with a mind like Sean McVay, the possibilities are truly endless as to what this Rams team could accomplish. As far as Detroit goes, this is a good trade for you too. Stafford, obviously one of the best players in your franchise's history. He's no Barry, he's no Megatron, but he's probably right up there with those two. You got obviously Night Train Lane, but Stafford's one of the greatest players in Detroit's history, and they're kind of like mutual parting of ways. But you get a young quarterback that you can experiment with. You got Dan Campbell and his kneecaps. That guy's a lunatic, but you got Dan Campbell. See what he can make out of Goff. Probably nothing because he wasn't a great coach in Miami. But, you get 2 firsts and a second back as well. And it's really a low risk for the Lions because they're terrible. They've been in a perpetual state of rebuild. And so, you're acquiring future draft assets, which is all you're looking for when you're a team as poorly run as the Lions. So in my personal opinion, this is a win-win trade that will help the Lions rebuild and help the Rams contend. I'm really excited to see what Stafford does in a new atmosphere. Both literally and figuratively, because obviously moving from Detroit to LA, that's quite the shift in weather. And, just the mentality. The Rams, like I said, they're in a win now mode. They've got probably a 2 to 4 year window to get it done. And, Stafford, I'm excited to see what he does with a team that is actually in playoff contention. Because I think he might have gone to the playoffs once or twice in Detroit. But, yeah, not a good career there. Excuse me. Stafford was great there, but the Lions never did him any favors. So, that was the big blockbuster of the week, but, we still got to think about these big name quarterbacks and where they could possibly go. You have this is going to be maybe the biggest quarterback changing, of all time in terms of the guys that could be going. I've already mentioned Goff and Stafford. They are gone. I've mentioned Watson, Darnold, Tagovailoa, 3 guys that, are spiraling in trade rumors. Not to mention Teddy Bridgewater, as the Panthers could be a possible suitor for the Texans with all of their draft capital. It's going to be a really big offseason for quarterbacks. And I think we also need to look at Dak Prescott, coming off of the broken ankle, and about a few ligaments in there, leg, all of it. Dak's not signed yet. Jerry has not dished out the money to Dak yet, which I think he needs to because Dak Prescott is a premier quarterback in the league. But, He could be possibly seeing free agency. Andy Dalton, I'm not sure how long his contract was. He's a serviceable guy. He can just like he did for the Cowboys. He can start you 3 or 4 games. He can spot you a game here and there. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's a guy that can win you football games. Mitchell Trubisky, another guy. He just led the Bears to the playoffs. He'll probably be a free agent. Cam Newton's going to be a free agent, former MVP. So you have so much turnover in this offseason and a lot of teams that have a quarterback need. There's a handful of teams that really have it set. And that includes the Chiefs, the Bucks, obviously the Rams and Lions, Seahawks have it set. After that, I don't really know. Brees is retiring, so the Saints need a new guy, probably. Jameis is a free agent. I don't know. He might be back. He might not. Matt Ryan's been spiraling in trade rumors. I'm kind of going by division here. Garoppolo is probably going to be a free agent. Kyler's job's safe. Let's just keep going by division. This is working out pretty well. Rodgers has been involved in trade rumors. The Packers don't want to trade him, obviously, coming off of a probable MVP season. Just mentioned Detroit. Vikings, Kirk's probably going to stay there. He's doing his job enough. Mitch Trubisky's going to be a free agent. And I think a lot of teams are going to want the Nickelodeon valuable player. NFC East, Dak, still not signed. Football team, they've got options. Alex Smith is probably done. Haskins just got signed by the Steelers. A lot of people are kind of putting Cam Newton there, reunion with Ron Rivera. I think that'd be good. Daniel Jones, he's spiraling into Deshaun Watson trade rumors. And then obviously the Eagles. What are the Eagles going to do? They just hired Nick Sirianni because they want to get as close to Frank Reich as possible. And they believe that he could be the guy to, bring Carson Wentz back to his MVP level. And so I think that's going to be a very interesting story. They could go QB by committee, but I think that they're committed to Wentz. Financially, they're definitely committed to Wentz. But on the field, it's yet to be seen. Well, it has been seen, but, he took the step back. Hurts played well. So that's going to be a really interesting situation. AFC, I mentioned Darnold and Tagovailoa. They're spiraling in Watson rumors. Cam's out of New England. They've got no quarterback. I love Jarrett Stidham, but he's probably not the answer. Josh Allen's job is safe. Ben Roethlisberger, I don't know what he's going to do. They say he might take a pay cut to stay in Pittsburgh. I don't think the Steelers really want him back. Burrow coming off of an ACL tear could be, they're not looking for a new guy. He's their franchise guy. But, you might need to bring like a Dalton back or maybe a Tyrod Taylor, as I'm wearing my Chargers jersey here, just to spot you a few games here and there if need be. Baker, I don't know what they're going to do with Baker. Baker and Lamar both, they're in line for big contract extensions, and I'm just not sure that's going to happen. With Lamar, obviously you have to pay him like a premier quarterback because he is. But with as much as he runs the ball, injuries are a huge risk, so you don't want to give him that Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes money. But he's going to demand a high contract. Baker, I don't know if you've seen enough out of him. We really only saw 9 or 10 good games from him last year, so you might want to wait for his fifth-year option and then make a decision. AFC South is a complete mess. I don't know, Tannehill's got his job probably. Jags are picking Lawrence probably at number 1. So Minshew could be another guy on the market. Colts, God knows what they're going to do. Rivers just retired. Brissett probably isn't the answer. And obviously Deshaun Watson. And in the AFC West, all 4 guys are probably safe. Obviously Mahomes, he's the best quarterback in the league and it's not even close. Herbert just had an outstanding rookie year. Probably going to be offensive rookie of the year. They seem to like Drew Lock in Denver. I think Drew Lock's a very good quarterback. He's obviously not elite, but he's a starter for sure. And Derek Carr, he could be gone. Al Davis and Gruden, or I don't know if it's Al Davis, but the owner and Gruden, they like to make big moves. So it's always possible. But that's pretty much going to be it for this video. I kind of sped through the end of it there, but if you really think about it, we've got about 20 odd teams that could be seeing a shift in their quarterback this year, and possibly even more than 20. It's going to be a crazy, crazy offseason as far as quarterbacks go. And we all know quarterback is the premier position in the National Football League. So I'm going to be strapped in. I'm going to be so excited to see what happens. I'm a Patriots fan. You can't tell from the jersey, but my team needs a new quarterback again. So I'm interested to see that. You've got 5 or 6 good quarterbacks in the draft. Not to mention Kellen Mond just played very well at the Senior Bowl. So there are so many options, and I think this is going to be such a good offseason for quarterbacks. That's going to be it for this video, guys. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. If you're still watching, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. Comment below your predictions on the offseason and, any other video ideas that you guys want me to see. I'm going to start trying to produce some videos from what you guys recommend. So make sure you comment down below so that I can see what you're thinking. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.